people. Welcome back to episode 14 of the RealFake Podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about some real unscripted crap here. So, I have my co-host with me,
Matt,
and I'm Kate Ruth. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. So we decided to talk about toxic people today because everybody has one, obviously, at least one. I've never met someone that didn't have an issue with toxic people.
Yeah.
Ever. I've never met a person that didn't have an issue with toxic people.
Yeah.
Ever. So, everyone has one. It's a topic everyone can use. Let's just jump right into it. Very basic definition of toxic people. I'm reading right here off my laptop. Definition of toxic is just freaking poisonous. So, toxic people, that's going to be people that are poisonous to you, in your life. I mean, everybody has one. You have more than one.
I think a lot of people don't even know they have. Like, you might not know someone's toxic to you in like your life, but it's like.
Well, like, that's the other thing is like identifying these,
yeah.
That's a big thing because you're right. People don't understand or don't know to identify how to identify.
And honestly, I never really thought about that much until like more recently, from like last year or so. I've come to like realize and like identify people in my friend group that are either fake or like that aren't helping me whatsoever.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not even in your friend group.
Yeah.
Like hopefully they're not even in your friend group at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like if you're not benefiting from them and you're not benefiting from each other, then it's pointless because you're just wasting any time or effort you're putting into like hanging out with them or whatever you do.
Right. So what we're gonna do is just jump through here. I have found a list online, and basically what we're gonna do is just run through a list of signs of toxic people, and we'll just see whether we agree or disagree or have anything to add or take from that. Because that's what we do. This is the best podcast out there. Okay. First one. All take, no give.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Like, I identify so hard with that because, like, not even in dating relationships, just in friendships, like, there's always
a giver and the taker, and like no matter what, it's gonna be there, but you just have to know how to balance it out.
Right.
If you don't, it can easily become toxic.
Yeah, and I feel like each person has some of both too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're any kind of decent person, you're a little of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it balances it out. That's a big issue there. Number 2, feeling drained. Well, yeah. Okay, this doesn't even seem like a big one, but it is to me. Because I've been around and with friends that have literally, I can see that they're feeling drained.
Yeah.
Right? They're feeling, the repercussions of being in a toxic relationship, right? And I mean, I'm just dead serious. Like, they're feeling it.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're too stupid to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. Most of the time, the simple part is cut and dry. Just don't hang out with the person.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll try and get to it later in the episode, but there's some cases where you can't get rid of the person. But in my opinion, if someone makes you feel a certain way, if they're taking so much that they're taking so much that it's draining you, then why are you still hanging out with them, right? And if you're still hanging out with them and you still have an actual reason, then usually it's not even a good reason. It's like some crap.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to get something from them, and that makes you a bad person too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, and I know for me, like, there's been times where I felt drained when I've been around people, but the reason this one's so hard to identify is because extroverts and introverts feel drained for different reasons.
Yeah.
Right? Like an introvert's gonna go out there and they're gonna feel drained no matter who they're with if they're in a big crowd.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's toxic. It just means for your personality, obviously introverts, they're gonna feel that way because, you know, they enjoy being alone. They gain energy from being alone.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take some extra energy to actually enjoy being with other people. I have some friends that are introverts and they enjoy talking to people, but they don't enjoy being in large crowds.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you know, it just kind of.
Yeah.
So, but that's a different type of drain.
Yeah, and I think I can definitely relate to that with already feeling drained and stuff because past our friendships and relationships or whatever, like like if they're not, if they're toxic, you can easily feel drained because they're constantly, most of the time they're constantly taking from you, and so you're constantly having to like feel their needs or whatever. So you're feeling drained because you're not able to feed yourself, and you're not getting stuff like they're not able to feed you like whatever in any energy or anything. So you're constantly having to give all yours away.
For sure. I mean, I couldn't have said that better myself. Number 3, that's gonna be lack of trust. I mean, there, you know, there's nothing really you can add to that. Lack of trust. I mean, again, if you can't trust somebody, why the heck are you friends with them?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty obvious there. This is a good one. Hostile atmosphere.
Yes.
Just hostile atmosphere. I mean, that's a big one. Because it's hard to identify. Me personally, just from the research and stuff that I've done, like hostile atmosphere is difficult to really identify, especially if you've grown up with it.
Yeah, and the same thing with the trust issues and stuff. Like, I've had trust issues for like the past few years, like quite a bit. So like knowing if it's actually like a legitimate trust issue or if it's just like natural or whatever. Like, I have very few people actually like truly trust. But I think there's a difference in different trust. But and the same thing with hostile because I kind of grown up or always being taught like always be on the lookout, like you can't trust anybody. Everybody can easily be hostile, which is true. But at the same time, you have to give people at least a little bit. You have to give them at least a little bit of trust.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and like something that I've had to work on as far as like trust is it's really hard to do, but I try to start out when I first meet you. I try to start out with giving you trust. Yeah. Right? And then if you deliver on that, then you know you keep what you have, maybe get some more. Yeah. But if you don't, then that's when I take it all away and I close up and I hoard it to myself because you can't be trusted, right? So
I need to like freaking soundproof this.
It's okay.
I'm trying to get I don't know actually what's going on.
It's all good. But yeah, so like just I lost my train of thought there, but just like that causes me to close up a lot of times. Yeah. Especially when I first meet people, I'm already closed up because just the fact that I don't know anything about you. Yeah. But there's a difference in a toxic relationship causing a hostile atmosphere and then there actually being one. Yeah. Right? And the reason, like, another thing with these signs is, like, you can be the one making this stuff. Like, you can be the one that's toxic. Yeah. No one ever thinks about that. It's always that person is toxic. Well, like, what if you're the one? Or what if I'm the one that's being toxic? Yeah, or you can both be equally just as toxic for each other. Neither one might be in the fault. It might just be like, you just don't click. Like, you're both just toxic to each other. Yeah. Like, not compatible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I definitely feel that, bro. Like, because it doesn't mean either one of you is a bad person. It just means that you don't fit. Yeah. Especially, like, in a relationship context. If you don't fit, you don't fit. Yeah. I mean, that's just my... it's not really anybody's fault. It's just, things just ain't going that way. Yeah. But there are real hostile atmospheres, like, you know, negative connotations that just immediately come with the person. Now, I'll tell you, that in my experience, the reason for that, a lot of times, is going to be just mindset.
Yeah.
Like, the reason that there's a hostile atmosphere is because this person has negative energy and thoughts that they're bringing into your home, your area, and that's what's going to overflow into your personal life, and that causes that hostile atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right? So, again, the best way to fix that is to just cut them right out of your life. Or, if you have to have them around, limit that exposure.
Yeah, like,
right?
if it's like family or something like that.
Yeah. The next one was occupied with imbalance. I mean, basically, that's just like a one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
Friendship, dating, marriage, whatever. If it's one-sided, obviously it's not going to get anywhere. That doesn't need any more explanation. That's just that. Next one. This is a big one. I feel like everyone gets this. Constant judgment.
Yeah.
I know I get constant judgment, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, because especially if it's in a relationship or whatever, and like you're dating or something, because you're dating. Most people you should be dating for to marry them, and if you're planning on marrying them and they're judging you, then it's like, wow, what's the point? It's absolutely useless. And why would you want to be with somebody who's constantly judging you over crap? And if it's like your bro squad or whatever, you don't want them judging you, because they're supposed to be tight. And if they're constantly judging you, then it's like they're not really there for you. They don't have your back.
Big facts. And another thing is, as far as judgment goes, people can be judging you and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, is that when you start caring about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think there's different, I think no matter what, you judge people are judging you, it's all say you do something, and no matter what, I would judge you. It can be good judgment or bad. I can judge you in a way that was really good, and that's good judgment. I can be oh, that sucked, and that's bad judgment. You feel oh, don't judge me. No matter what, you will, that's just how humans are. We judge each other or whatever, and
right.
But it depends on our mindset and just the way things are set up. Stuff, and then also being verbal about our judgment and being out loud, you suck or whatever. That's not good judgment. But yeah. Yeah.
I'll just add right onto that. It's impossible to not judge, just like you were saying. I 100% agree with that. It's impossible to not judge. Because there are certain connotations that you make. I'm not saying they're right, I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm just saying they're there and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
That every person makes when you see or meet a new person. There's something that you think about that person, and that's just your opinion of the person. That's why they always say, first impressions matter.
Yeah.
Because that's what shapes what they think about you, right?
Yeah. What do you want? Go away. Thank you. Bless me.
Yeah.
Norman.
So yeah, that shapes their opinion of you later on. I'm not saying it's not changeable. I'm just saying that's what.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's one of those things that it's always going to be there. There's nothing you can do about it. So, and there's a difference in healthy judgment. We need to do an episode on that later on. But there's a difference in healthy judgment and judgment that's detrimental to whatever you're working through.
Yeah.
Next one, I think this is 7. Persistent unreliability.
Yeah.
That's. I have issues with that.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship that was persistently unreliable.
Yeah. I've had different little whatever you want to call flings or whatever you want to call it, different little things or whatever where it's just unreliable. The person isn't, and just different, even with other friends or whatever. Feel either are constantly changing their mind. You can't rely on them for you can't they're constantly unreliable, and I feel then you can't. That also leads to the trust issues, because if they're not reliable, you can't trust them. So that just makes that worse.
Yeah, I agree. I was in a relationship that was persistently unreliant. And the easiest thing I can think of when it comes to this, to describe it, is going to be, it's going to be just something like not being able to meet up at dates.
Yeah.
Or not being able to hang out. Like, if you guys plan to hang out, right? And then they cancel last minute consecutively, like more times than you actually get together, then to me, that's persistently unreliant.
Yeah.
And it shows that you're not as important as something else to that person. And if that's a person you're dating, or if that's a friend that you have that you're really putting a lot into, you need to reevaluate that, because they don't care about you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one thing, like that. There's this chick that I was into or whatever, and we were both into each other. And at least, or so I thought. But like I'd be like, yo, want to hang or something like that. And she was like, oh, I'm busy. Like I'm like, when are you free? She's like, I'm busy this whole month. I'm like, the frick?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I'll do that like every few weeks or whatever. And she's like constantly saying how she's busy and like stuff. I'm like, but she's got all this other, like have free time to do other stuff though. And so I'm like, yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. And they always say people make time for what they want. No. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. You make priorities what you want.
Yeah.
Right? You don't add time into your day for someone else. You just cut something else out. Right? So whatever's the most important is what falls first in that day.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what's important to me is being here at this podcast, hustling, doing whatever. So I'm here every time I can be, working on this, making content, pushing it as far as it'll go.
Yeah.
And because that's what's important to me. If it wasn't important to me, you'd be able to tell, because I'd be halfway doing it. Episodes wouldn't be coming out. Nothing would be getting done. You know?
For sure.
Right, and there'd be no improvement. Same thing in a relationship. You know, it doesn't start and stay that way. It gets better. Same thing with the friendship. It doesn't start and stay that way. You know, it's got to evolve and kind of move with the flow of stuff.
Yeah.
In my opinion, all of my good relationships and friendships have been that way. Anything good has been people that are willing to compromise and work with me.
Yeah.
And same for me to them. Next one. This is a big one. Non-stop narcissism.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
I have issues with this. I'm a little bit of a narcissist, and I know it's not great, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But I am a bit of a narcissist. So
yeah. I've had issues like with myself. Like I've been afraid that I'll become that way, so I've almost gone the opposite direction or whatever. But that's something I'm constantly like, because that's something I can't stand other people when they're constantly like taking selfies of themselves and all kinds of crap. Like, it's one thing if you're doing it for content, but if you're just doing it just to look at yourself, I'm like what the heck? And so that's something I can't stand. I don't want to ever end up being like that. So that's something I'm constantly keeping my eye open, and that's something I've dealt with in past relationships and very little bit like over my friendships, just because like dudes don't do that as much as chicks do or whatever. But it still happens. Like I know some guys that are like that and stuff. And so yeah, and when that happens, I mean they're paying attention to themselves. That goes back into also like the one-sidedness as well, because they're paying attention to themselves. They're not giving you anything.
yeah,
They're constantly paying attention and only thinking and focusing on themselves. So that really doesn't do any good for you whatsoever.
right, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, enough said there. You said that perfectly. Yeah, the narcissist, I mean, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like more people than don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. Especially now with social media and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where people are trying to perfect it and like where they're trying to perfect selfies or just like pictures of themselves, like both for their own personal gain, like so they think they look pretty, and also so like the world, they think that they're like a beautiful ray of sunshine for the rest of the world to look at and stuff.
Okay, next one. The person is loaded with negative energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going to stop and take time on that, but
Yeah, you can go on for a while with that one, but yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory.
I think we all know about that. Alright, this is a big one right here. This is number 10. Yeah, number 10. Lack of communication. Okay? I am going to stop and talk about this for a second because I have just a small bit of a rant. People, why are you not talking to the person? Like, why are you not? If I got a problem with you, why am I not gonna come up and call you up and talk to you about it?
Yeah.
Instead of talking to everybody else.
Yeah, like you hear, like whether it's like, or couples or whatever, they'll go and like gossip to like when dudes like like to the bros or whatever, some girl talking to her like her little clique or whatever, friend group and stuff, and they'll be like or gossiping about it and like talking about like whatever, he's not paying attention to me or this or that. It's like, well then talk to him about it. If you have a problem, talk about it and resolve it. And it's like, yeah, that's all you have to do. It's not that big of a deal. And if you feel like that insecure, like that much, like you can't talk about it, then something needs to change. Because if you can't talk to them and be honest with them, either you feel like they're judging you or there's no trust, like then yeah, something needs to change.
Big facts, yeah, big facts. And another thing, I mean, going right off of what you said there. I mean, you said exactly what I had to say, like verbatim. So yeah, but I don't understand why you don't go talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only reason I can think of why you ain't gonna come talk to me is just because you're trying to fuel into something else and create a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough, in my experience, there's enough things that can be solved just by one-on-one conversation. If I sit down and say, hey, bro, or hey, you know, whatever, we have a problem, we need to talk about this. Matter of fact, we just listened to a lesson about this morning.
Yeah.
Right? In church. First thing you do, even by the Bible, you go talk straight to that person.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and even if you're not a Christian and you're listening to this and you're not a Christian, I still advise you to do that because that's the easiest way to get things done. No hassle, no trouble. Go straight to the person, talk to them, be like, hey bro, can we just talk this thing out real quick?
Yeah.
Right? And if that doesn't work, then you go get somebody and come back. You know, I mean, I don't understand why people don't chase the, I don't know what you call it, I'm just gonna make a word here, but like resolvement of the issue, like resolving and fixing the problem.
Yeah.
They don't chase that. They just sit back here and brood about it, right? Or like they'll go to bed still angry about it, get up the next day smoldering.
Yeah.
I've seen that so many times. I'm like, why did you not just talk about it, get it over with, find some kind of fix, even if it's temporary, and then move on?
Yeah. Yeah, I go with that with like whether it's like other people, even for myself, I've found myself doing that, and that's something I've had to like work on is like not because it's not gonna hurt me, it's not gonna do any good. All it's gonna do is just hurt you more.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, next one. Continuous disrespect.
Yeah.
That's a major one right here. I mean, really all of these are major. I keep saying it over and over because it's true. They're all major. But continuous disrespect. I've talked to a lot of people my age that don't understand where things went wrong. For them, we'll just say in a relationship or in a friendship or whatever. The reason that person treats you so bad now, not all the time, but most of the time, is because they were allowed to treat you that way. You know what I'm saying? The first time that somebody steps on your toes and tries to shove you around, the very first time someone does that, you stand your ground, you say, nah bro, like I'm gonna do my own thing, I'm gonna do what's right for me or whatever, right? And they're gonna back down.
Yeah.
Like that's always, I've had to do that and it works, right?
Yeah.
I have been asked to, this was before I had a license, I've been asked to drive vehicles on the road for other people.
Yeah.
Because they weren't able to or they needed to get somewhere or whatever. They wanted me to drive them somewhere with a license. I didn't even have one. They wanted me to drive them somewhere. That doesn't even make any sense, but they still ask. Anyways, what did I do? You know, I told them, no, I ain't doing that. Did I have any more problems out of that? No.
Yeah.
But you know what happens if you say yes one time? Then they're going to be back.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the same thing that happens in friendships. I've seen it a million times. Same thing that happens in relationships. I've seen it probably 1,000 times. They let them do one thing this way, and they're like, oh, they're just having a bad day. We're not going to talk about it. Just let it go. And correction on the last one that I said, number 10, on lack of communication when you're having a fight. I don't mean just ignore the fight as a way to fix it, because that's never a way to fix it. You should always talk it out. Anyway, coming back to what I'm saying now is basically, in my opinion, you need to, I lost my train of thought, but, I don't even remember what I was saying now, but anyway, you get the point, is that if you don't address the problem when it first happens, it's going to grow like a plant and just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like when you're feeding seagulls on the beach, you feed one,
they all
freaking like 5 more come, you feed some of them, 10 come in.
Yeah,
it gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
And that's what I've had to deal with that, mostly in friendships, a little bit in some relationships, but mostly in friendships, where whether it's like a buddy of mine, whether like flirting with my girlfriend, or whether it's like just like even just small stuff, like just like touching my stuff that I don't want them to be touching or whatever. And eventually you get to the point either where you're gonna be miserable around the person and you're never gonna be happy because you're gonna be dealing with their crap. Or don't you have to stand up for yourself and just be like, hey, you need to stop. But the longer you wait, the worse it's gonna get, and the confrontation is gonna be worse.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, next one is mutual avoidance. Again, running low on time, we're not going to stop talking about that. If you're spending your time avoiding somebody,
what's the point? Like,
yeah,
honestly,
I mean,
you might as well either not be friends or not be dating.
Yeah. Insufficient support. That's a big problem because a lot of times one person is not receiving enough support, and the other person that should be providing it doesn't even know about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Going back to communication and the whole one-sidedness.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're the more dominant person in the relationship, or you feel like you are, please make sure that you are providing, even in a friendship, enough support for the other person. Yeah. I've been friends with people that are very, very shy. What do? I hold all the weight of the conversation. I'm the one that talks to them first. I'm the one that asks all the questions, sometimes answers all the questions. Like, I'm completely engaging them first.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they don't want to talk to me. It just means they're very shy, very timid, very, for that person, it didn't mean they didn't want to talk to me. It just meant that they needed that extra support. In the same way, support comes in a million different ways, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
So, if you're the more dominant person, you need to make sure you're giving the support. And if you're the weaker person, or feel like you're the weaker person, then you need to make sure that the other person in your life knows that you need more support. And if they won't give it to you, then it's time to cut that toxic person out of your life.
Yeah.
Go over just a couple more because we're low on time. Ceaseless control issues. I mean, as basic as it gets, people.
Yeah.
Control issues. I'm not talking about, normal. Like, there's normal possessiveness.
Yeah.
There's jealousy and control issues.
Yeah. I mean, it gets out of hand and stuff.
And this is one of these things. It's just like the thing you're talking about, seagulls. You let it go once, it's gonna happen again and again and again, and it just grows and grows, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So cut it off while it's small and save your relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the hassle, people? Final one. Number 15, final one for this episode. Never-ending drama.
Oh, Lord.
Self-explanatory, bro.
Yeah.
If your spouse sees other people as any sort of competition for you, dump them immediately.
Yeah.
I've dealt with multiple people, multiple friends that have said that. They're having, seeing each other as competition, right? Like someone better comes along, verbal or body language competition is shown.
Yeah.
And dump immediately.
Yeah.
Just drop it.
And yeah, I've kind of seen that and felt that a little bit. And even that goes back to like whether like certain friends or whatever, like whether they're like flirting with with my girlfriend or different things like that. It just feels like, and then you feel like competition or whatever. And there's certain people that you're around that automatically feels like, oh, there's a competition now. whether it's like who's gonna get like if it's just a group of friends, or who's gonna get like normally there's like that head like friend of the group or the leader.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's like fighting for the attention of that one that most popular person. So you feel that, and then like if you're in a relationship, if there's that point, and if it gets to that point where you're like at that like or competing over like who's in it or whatever, and it's kind of like it's pointless. You might as well not even be dating. You're just going back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. With that, we're going to segue into the end of the episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. This is the RealFake Podcast. Make sure you like and leave us a review. Check out my YouTube channel, Cade Booth. Me and Matt do some crazy stuff on there. That's a little bit more entertainment oriented. It's a great channel. Want to shout out your Instagram page really quick?
Sure. Yeah, I got. Let's see. My personal is Maddie_Phoenix 172.
There you go.
And then my photography is dark_wonders 172. Go hit that up. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. All right. And thank you guys for listening so much. We're gonna be back next week with more amazing content. So don't go freaking anywhere. And we'll see you guys later.